Welcome to Urban Knife Guy, where we explore the urban knife style and jungle survival. Today we're going to create a self-contained survival kit for the Morakniv Companion. First, if you watch this channel regularly but have not subscribed, please do so to help the channel out. Thanks. The Morakniv Companion is a very popular budget fixed blade made in Sweden. It costs below $20 and is available in high carbon steel or stainless steel. This is the stainless steel version. It's made from 12C27 steel. The blade thickness is 2.5 millimeters thick and it has a Scandi grind. The Companion is very lightweight and it's not full tang, but it is a very capable knife. It is very popular for camping, hiking and bushcraft. The sheath is made from hard plastic and has a belt clip. The knife is held in place with a friction fit and it's pretty secure. Morakniv Companions come in many different colors and this is the Desert Tan. There are a number of videos on creating a survival kit system for this knife and sheath. Most include a ferro rod with paracord wrap around the sheath. I have several other different ideas and will share this in real time as I build the kit. Let's get started. Here are the things you will need to build my Morakniv Companion survival kit. Of course, you'll need the Morakniv Companion and its plastic sheath. You also need some fire cord, which is essentially paracord but with some additional strands. There's some monofilament, there's a fishing line, there's also this fire tinder cord along with the regular inner strands. Now if you don't have fire cord, you can use regular paracord, but this gives you additional functionality. You will need some heat shrinking tubing. So this is used for electrical cables. You put the cables in, apply heat, and this will shrink down to about half its diameter. So you want one where the tubing will shrink down to around 1 1/4 inches in diameter. And you can get this from any electrical hardware store. You also need some gaffer's tape or duct tape. I prefer gaffer's tape because it doesn't leave any residue, but it is much more expensive than regular duct tape. You also need some jute twine, and this will be used as a tinder material. Now the reason why I have this is due to the environment that I'm in when I'm outdoors. This is a tropical jungle environment. Things are always very damp and wet. It is not easy to find dry material unless you really process it down. So having dry jute rope, which you can fluff up to become a bird's nest, can be very useful. You also need some Ranger bands, 3 to be exact. One is slightly larger, about 2 inches in diameter, and then you have 2 smaller ones which is just over 1 inch in diameter, and these will fit over the sheath of the knife. You also need some smaller components that you have to put together. This is cotton wool infused with Vaseline or petroleum jelly. It's put into a plastic straw. You take a pair of pliers, take a lighter, heat it up, and clamp and seal this inside so it is waterproof. So this is also an additional fire starter. There is a safety pin over here, and here I have a needle which is pre-threaded with some thread, and this is actually the inner, I would say the sewing thread filament from a strand of fire cord. So that's really coiled round several times, and I just got a bit of gaffer's tape just to hold everything in place. So this is pre-threaded. I also have an additional needle over here as a spare. I have 2 water purification tablets. This is also very important in a survival situation. And for navigation, I have a compass, but this is the watch style compass, which has kind of a loop for you to put a strap through. And finally, for fire starting, now a lot of people for the Morakniv Companion will put a Ferro Rod. They would kind of put a straw or plastic tube and then they would try to put it together by tape and then attach that in. I didn't want that. It bulks it up just a bit, and I wanted something that was a striker as well. I did not put a 90-degree spine on this knife. This is stainless steel, but some people do take a file to sharpen this up so that they can strike a ferro rod. So what I chose instead is to have this system, which is this necklace striker with a ferro rod on, and you can just buy this on Amazon or some marketplaces or some camping stores. But what I've also done is to end it with a end cap, which is a whistle. So this keeps the ends of the paracord together, but this is also a whistle. So I've got a survival whistle with fire starting capabilities over here. And the good thing about having this in this way is all self-contained, but when you want to use it, you just can pull it down, and with the whistle it also acts as a grip. You can hold it in place, use the striker, and create sparks that way. So that's the self-contained system, and this will be added on to the sheath as part of the survival system. Okay, so we've got all the things ready. Let's start putting things together. The entire survival kit is going to be built onto the sheath, and I'm going to start off with the jute twine. And what I want to do is wrap it around the sheath. And in terms of measuring out, if you're going to be doing this, I'm going to start above the Morakniv logo over here. And what I want to do is also, I'm going to be whipping the rope so that it's going to be very secure on the sheath. So what I need is a whole bunch of jute twine first. So I'm just going to unravel this. I'm going to form a loop just like that, and I'm going to have the wrap from above the M to below this indent over here. So something like that, and then I'm going to wrap this way just like that. So I'm going to make sure it's tight and there's no overlap. So that's what we're doing. We are going to wrap around this loop that we created all the way up here. Now, once I've done the coiling all the way about here, I'm going to cut the twine, and I'm going to insert this free end into the loop over here, just like that. And then I'm going to pull the other side, and you can see what's happening. The loop is going to pull down on this free end here, and it's going to pull it underneath the wrap. So it looks like that, and this is going to make it secure. So I'm going to let it pull it down. You can see it going down. And once it disappears down and is quite secure, you can then cut off this end over here. And there we have the jute whipping twine around. But I need to try to keep this as dry as possible because this is going to be a tinder sauce, and that's where this heat shrink tubing is going to come in. I'm going to put it over, and then I'm going to heat it so it shrinks down. So I'm just going to measure off probably about this much, and even if there's an excess later, I can use a knife to cut it off to trim off the excess. So I'm going to move this, put it over here, just like that. In fact, I'm going to go higher, probably, yep, just at the M, so I can do a gauge. You can remember the M over here, so I can trim this off later as well. Now, you can use a lighter to heat shrink this tubing, but I'm going to use a hot air gun over here. Here you can see that rubber sleeving has shrunk, and it's now completely covering the twine. It's quite waterproof, or at least highly water resistant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a knife and I'm just going to trim around the edges just to shorten the amount of tubing. And there we have quite a neat package now. Just need to kind of clean that up. And we have a highly water resistant jute twine wrap over here. Great, now let's go to the next step. For this next part of the kit, we'll use the straw with the cotton, the threaded needle, the extra needle, the safety pin, and the water purification tablets. And what we want to do is to use gaffer's tape and to tape everything onto the sheath. So I've got gaffer's tape over here, and take note because the sheath is a bit tapered. in terms of the shape, so there are going to be some creases as you put this on. As you can see, there's a crease there, but in order to keep everything kind of straight, we will have to bear with some creases, but they will be covered up later on. And I think you can do about 6 wraps for this. Once you've done about 6 wraps, now this is the back of the sheath. I'm going to put the Puritabs over here, so it's on the back, as you can see, and that's going to be taped over, so it's now wrapped inside like that. And for the front, I'm going to just put these items together as tightly as I can, and I'll probably put the needles between the 2 bigger objects, so it's kind of sandwiched in between. So the easier way to do this is to place the items on the tape and then kind of wrap it over like that. And you'd probably want to go at least 1 round, and then you can cut the tape off. And there you have the item secured underneath the gaffer's tape. So it's easy enough for you to remove it when you need it, but it's going to hold everything in place. I know it looks a bit messy, but we are going to take the fire cord to wrap it all around. Now we're going to add a fire cord wrap around the sheath, and I'm going to just concentrate on the gaffer's tape section over here. I'm not going to do the full sheath. Of course, you can do that if you want. I will be doing a whipping as well, so it will look like that, and I'll start just here and make it as tight as I can. So one difference I'm going to do is now add in the compass, and that is going to go on the back of the sheath, and I'll need to thread it through the compass here, just like that, and I'll need maybe a tool later to help me out. Once I've come to the end here, once again I can loop it through, and I'll be pulling it down as we did before. And here we have the fire cord wrap. So this is the front and the compass is on the back, and there's a reason I have it on the back because I still have one more element to put on this survival kit. The final component of the survival kit is the Ferro Rod, striker and whistle combination on this lanyard, which I showed earlier. This is going to go on the front of the sheath, and I'm going to hold it in place with the Ranger bands, starting with the 2-inch band at the top and the smaller ones midway and at the bottom. So here I have the 3 Ranger bands. Now the great thing about the Ranger bands is they act as a fire extender if needed, but they can be used to really hold all the components here, especially that fire cord, so it doesn't unravel. And now I'm going to add in this cord and hold everything in place, and let's see how it goes. And here we have the finished product. As you can see now, this fire starter or ferro rod and striker and whistle is held really securely, but everything is, as you can see, still a nice compact bundle. If we take the knife, put that inside, that clicks shut, and we've got a very neat package. Nothing too big, but we've got just so much going on. Well, there you have it. That is my Morakniv Companion Survival Kit with all the different items, lots of goodies on the inside, water-resistant jute thread. We've got the various threaded needles, safety pins, Puritabs, cotton in a straw, and then on the outside we've got a fire cord wrap, and then we've got the ferro rod with the striker and the whistle, all in one neat package. And of course, let's not forget the compass for navigation. Now, what do you think of this survival kit? Have you put together your own Morakniv Companion kit? Do you have any ideas to add to this? Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like the content in general, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.